All right, chess fans, get ready, because today we're diving deep into the mind of a true legend, José Raúl Capablanca.
A chess master who wasn't just about winning games, but understanding the very heart of strategy.
And he laid it all out in his book, Chess Fundamentals, which is where we're headed today.
Still as relevant today as it was when it was written, really a testament to Capablanca's understanding of the game.
And the coolest part, you don't even have to be a chess whiz to appreciate the strategic gold in this book. It's all about those timeless principles, the ones that apply to, well, pretty much anything in life that requires a little strategy.
And let's be real, what doesn't?
Exactly. So let's jump right in. Openings, that crucial first phase of the game. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was starting out, I was all about those aggressive, attack right out the gate kind of moves.
Yeah.
But Capablanca, he had a different approach, right?
He did. He believed in a more controlled opening, really emphasizing the development of your pieces over rushing into an attack.
So kind of like laying a strong foundation before you built, yeah.
Exactly. He was known for saying, bring out the knights before the bishops.
Which sounds kind of strange at first, right? I mean, those bishops and their long diagonals, that's usually where beginners want to go first.
It's natural to think that way. But Capablanca's point was that by developing your knights early, you're actually creating a much more stable and flexible position for yourself down the line.
It's about thinking ahead, anticipating your opponent's moves instead of just going for the immediate attack.
Exactly, and that's what sets you up for the immediate attack.
Exactly, and that's what sets you up for success in those later stages of the game.
Gotta love that long game strategy, right? Speaking of which, that brings us to another one of Capablanca's fundamental principles, control of the center. Ah, yes, dominating the board.
It seems pretty intuitive, right? I mean, you want to control as much territory as possible.
It seems that way, but Capablanca really digs into the why here. He shows how controlling those central squares actually allows you to dictate the entire flow of the game.
So it's not just about occupying the center, it's about using that control strategically.
Exactly.
Does he give any, specific examples of how this works in an actual game?
He does. He actually analyzes a game where one side completely controls the center, and it's amazing to see how restricted the opponent's pieces become.
Really?
Yeah, they're totally on the defensive, can't maneuver effectively at all, while the player controlling the center has all the freedom to launch their attacks.
Wow, that's got to be a powerful feeling, like having your opponent in a headlock, but, in a classy chess master kind of way.
Right. And you know what's even cooler? This idea of controlling key positions or resources. It's not just a chess thing.
Oh, I see it.
This is applicable to so many areas of life.
I was just going to say that.
If you think about it, whether you're negotiating a business deal or even just having a conversation, the person who controls the key elements of that situation, information, resources, the direction of the conversation, they have a serious advantage.
Okay, that's a serious aha moment right there.
Right.
So we've got openings, we've talked about controlling the center, and now it's time to tackle what some might say is the most complex part of chess, the endgame.
And this is where Capablanca's deep understanding of the game really shines through.
Okay.
He takes these endgame scenarios that seem simple on the surface, like, king and pawn versus king.
Wait, really? King and pawn versus king? That's like the most basic setup ever.
Exactly.
You're telling me there's hidden complexity there.
Oh, absolutely. You might think it's just a few moves to checkmate, but Capablanca, he unveils this whole intricate dance of calculations, these little positional nuances.
No way. So it's like there's this whole secret language of chess, and he's handing us the decoder ring.
That's a great way to put it. He even introduces this concept of opposition in chess.
Opposition?
Yeah, where the positioning of the kings, even without other pieces, can determine the entire outcome of the game.
My mind is officially blown. I need a minute to process this. Okay, so we've got to watch for those holes in our opponent's positions, got to leverage those weaknesses, and now we have to add this whole king as an attacker concept to the mix. Capablanca, you're full of surprises.
That's the beauty of chess, and what makes Capablanca's work so brilliant. There's always another layer to uncover.
All right, so we've got those endgame principles simmering in our brains, but Capablanca's got more for us, right?
Oh, definitely. Ready to tackle a chess debate that's been going on for ages?
Hit me with it. What's the controversy?
The bishop versus knight debate. Which minor piece is the real MVP?
Ooh. I feel like I always underestimate the bishop a little.
It's a common thing.
Yeah, it's stuck on a color,
Right. A lot of players, even back in Capablanca's time, they favored the knight.
Really?
But Capablanca, he was ahead of his time.
What did he see that others didn't?
He really saw the potential of the bishop. That long-range power, especially when you've got those open positions, it's actually had a huge impact on how people think about the bishop today.
There you go. I love that about Capablanca. He's all about challenging those assumptions. Reminds me, it's not just about chess, right? Thinking differently can really get you ahead anywhere.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to break the mold to have a breakthrough. And speaking of thinking differently, Capablanca was all about observation and planning.
Oh, yeah.
He actually walks through some of his own games in the book, like his actual thought process, move by move.
Whoa, wait, hold up. We get to peek inside Capablanca's brain.
That's what's so cool about this book.
See how he strategizes.
He really stresses how crucial it is to anticipate your opponent's moves.
So not just reacting, but thinking steps ahead.
Always got to have a plan, right?
Like you're playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck in the third dimension.
He's got this one game he analyzes, pulls off this amazing combination, and when he breaks it down, you realize he saw it coming, like moves in advance.
All right, now you're just making me want to dust off my chess set. But before I do that, I got to ask, Capablanca was playing, what, almost a century ago? But his stuff is still so relevant. What's his lasting legacy, would you say?
One of those fascinating things he talks about is the whole theory.
The what? The whole theory?
Whole theory, yep.
Am I missing something? What does a whole have to do with chess?
So in chess, a hole is basically a weakness in your position, usually caused by, like, your pawn structure.
Yeah.
And your opponent can use that against you.
Ah, so it's like a weak point in your defense.
Exactly. And what's brilliant is that this idea, it applies to way more than just chess.
Right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Once you see it everywhere. Business, relationships, everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Capablanca is giving us this whole new way to see the world, a strategic lens.
Love that. Love that a lot. It's like he's saying, don't just try to overpower your opponent. Use their weaknesses against them.
Totally.
So smart.
It's like that whole chain is only as strong as its weakest link idea, right?
Mind blown. Again, and you know what else blew my mind? That whole king as an attacker thing. I always thought the king was like the guy you got to keep safe at all costs.
Right. Common misconception.
Yeah.
Capablanca shows that even the king can get in on the attack, especially in those later stages of the game.
Yeah.
Just takes the right planning, right awareness of the position.
I'm telling Capablanca, he's the king of breaking down those chess myths we all have. Makes you realize there's always something new to learn. Back again, still geeking out over Capablanca's chess fundamentals. This guy was a strategic genius.
He really was.
I mean, that whole theory, it's like so simple, but so powerful.
Isn't it?
I'm finding myself looking for those holes, those weaknesses everywhere now, not just on the chessboard, but in like everyday situations.
Like he's given us this whole new way of seeing things.
Yeah.
A strategic lens for life,
Totally. It's like he's saying, hey, instead of always trying to overpower the situation, why not use your opponent's weaknesses to your advantage?
Exactly. It's that judo move strategy. Use their momentum against them.
And that whole king as an attacker concept, Capablanca just keeps blowing my mind. It's like he wants us to question everything we thought we knew about chess.
He wants us to think beyond the obvious moves, to see the potential in every piece, even the ones we think are just there to be protected.
Exactly. Always be learning, always be adapting. There's always more to discover. That's what I'm taking away from chess fundamentals.
Me too. It's more than just a chess book. It's a guide to strategic thinking that applies to everything.
100%. So if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and check out Chess Fundamentals. You won't regret it. And that wraps up another deep dive into the minds of the greats. Until next time, keep those strategic minds sharp and remember, Capablanca believes in you.